Okay.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Christian Lattman, and yeah.
And what do you do?
Well, I'm a part-time actor.
And what is your question for today as well?
Well, my question would be, like, as an actor, I feel like my opportunities are not as frequent as I would like audition-wise. So I know there's a usual chain of sort of command or like submissions are going from the agent to the casting director. I do feel at the mercy of my agent for like a lot of Toronto work where I'm based out of just in the suburb outside of Toronto. So I'm limited to what I can find on my own because I'm with the union, and being a union member, I'm not allowed to do non-union work. So most of the things that I'm allowed to submit myself for, or sorry, that I'm qualified or that I'm only allowed to do, I should say, are union, and they're not easy to find without the channel of an agent. So my agent has access to those. We
so
have a
I think
website.
the thing that I'm picking up on it there is the idea that you're at the mercy of your agent. That's the interesting bit to me.
That's
do you feel there's
fair.
enough work around?
I do feel like there may not be quite enough work, and the casting in Toronto doesn't take a chance usually on someone new as much as someone who's proven, and they reuse a lot of the same actors over and over again. It's a pretty tight-knit club that seem to get a lot of work, and it's tough to crack into. And
so, I mean, my own experience here, I'm going to put my mentor hat on here. Sometimes I'll switch between coaching, where I help you find your own solution, which I'll come back to, and mentoring. My own experience is that I was doing TV work for around 9 years, and after that I was an agent for 15 years. So I've been on both sides. I got into a conversation about this one time. I know that in your email you had said something about, can I submit myself after the agent's already submitted. And the casting director had said to me, if ever she gets the same actor through two sources, whether it's two agents or an agent and direct or whatever, she bins both of them and blacklists that actor for a certain amount of time until they can decide who they want to be represented by. Now, there's a good reason for that. The reason is that if that actor comes in by either source and gets the job, they've got a legal battle on their hands as to who gets the commission. And it's they just would rather avoid that altogether.
Understandable.
However, this is what I'm thinking about. This relationship between you and your agent and your view of them is something that could be holding you back right now. Okay, so the things that you've just repeated back to me were along the lines of, you know, that you're at their mercy, you're not sure if they're putting you forward enough, it's a tough thing to crack, right? That all the same actors get all the work. So all of these things have become sort of like your little belief that you're telling yourself all the time, and if you've ever looked at law of attraction side of things, your thoughts become your reality. Have you ever seen that before? Ever heard of that sort of theory? Yeah.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So you understand how that works, that when the more you tell yourself that, the more you'll get evidence of the same.
Right, right.
Okay.
I see that. Yeah.
All right, so putting my coaching hat back on again now, how is it that we can turn around how you think and work with your agent that might give you a different result?
Well, this is interesting question. I just signed with this agent in January, and I was with my previous agent for several years, and it was pretty good. I was getting lots of auditions.
So what caused you to move from one to the other?
Well, there was a few confrontations. I moved on, and this new agent, which I thought was the right choice. I had a couple options, and I went with her. She was referred from a casting director's assistant, one of the biggest casting directors in Toronto.
That's
and
a good
he referred her. And so when I signed with her, it seemed like it was going to be pretty good.
Right.
This is still only January, and our season is pretty slow in the winter. In moving towards the spring, it starts to pick up. Giving her the benefit of the doubt of the slow season, you know, I don't expect a whole lot. And the other side of that is I booked out for some spokesperson work for Chrysler Canada. I went across Canada as a spokesperson, and so I wasn't available to her. So, but the issue that I'm starting to bother me is, like, I like to talk to my agent. I want to talk to my agent. I want to hear them. You know, I just want to get a feel for them. And she's made it pretty clear that she doesn't like phone calls. She doesn't want me calling. She'd rather do just emails. Where it became a problem was when I had an audition come in for the same day, and she emailed me with very little notice, like 3 hours notice. I'm aware I got 2 hours to get down there.
Did you discuss that with her? That was, yeah?
I did discuss it with her, and she said that, well, I assume you have a smartphone and you'll have access to your email. And I'm like, I can't stop everything I'm doing every 10 minutes and check my email. I'm asking you...
just for the odd ones, the short notice ones.
Yeah,
really.
yeah, the short notice. Please call me. And it seemed to be a bit like pulling teeth. And already we're a pretty fresh relationship.
Right.
So
let's just stop right there.
Didn't feel good.
Let's say, what would be the most ideal traits that you would want in your agent? What would you love? Should be like the ideal dream agent for you. You just give me some really. Don't give me the full explanation. I'm just going to write down some points.
Well, strong belief in my capability as an actor, that I'm versatile enough to do a few different shows that are being shot in our greater Toronto area. And you're a real hustler, and like a friend. Like, I want to be able to communicate, be really open and honest with talking with on a regular basis. I don't expect to take up too much of her time, but at least touch base once a week. Keep it pretty active, and it feels so disconnected right now because it's just emails.
Tell me what she's not. Tell me what you do want.
Yeah. Okay. Knowing that she's got a good connection with casting of the shows. Yeah. She does have with some. I'm not so sure with all.
Okay, what else would you like that would make her an absolute dream agent? Make best kind of, not just her in what she does in her job, but in how she relates to you. Keeping me up to date, or like just like maybe a little more like from the manager side, like keep like updating me on like classes, or like just keeping all my resume, my photos need updating, just like aside from just submitting me all the other things around acting, sort of keeping a beat on those things. And that's really good. That was a good list. Good. Okay, so from those things, a few little things that you're pulling out there are a difference between an agent and a manager. Now, this is always the tricky bit, because everybody would love their agent to be a manager. So basically you have an agent who has a pool of talent, right? And they're the clients, which are the casting directors, production houses, film companies, etc., advertising agencies, come to the agent, say, here's the job, who have you got? Agent submits out of their pool of talent, and then if they like somebody, then they'll negotiate the deal. So it's kind of like the first level of service. A manager is somebody who will only have a very limited amount of people on their books, because it's their job to grow that person's career. It's very different from an agent. Do you see the difference there? The agent's there to serve the clients. Yes, they're there to represent you, and of course they get paid. If you get paid more, they get paid more because it's on a commission percentage rate. But for a manager, it's different, because they have taken on somebody who's already moving, already got a career happening. They won't very rarely take on somebody brand new, because it's a risk then. They'll take on somebody that's already up the level and wants to move higher. And then they'll take over the full management side, so that that person can fully dedicate themselves to their learning and their skills and their crafts and that kind of thing. So it's a different... Do you see what I mean? It's often, I find, and I thought the same when I first joined an agency, was that I thought, well, come on, you should be doing it all for me. But in fact, it's actually up to you at this stage, this early stage, to manage your career. You look after your photographs. That's up to you, right? At least once a year, get some new ones. Simply because it makes for the casting directors, when they get a new photo, that's right, this guy, that's right, oh wow, he looks different, I like this better, or whatever. Okay, that's a good refreshing thing. Classes, that's up to you. So growing your skill set and your publicity material at the moment is your job.
Okay.
Okay? And things that you would expect a manager to do, you'll only be disappointed if you expect an agent to do that when they've got a pool of several hundred, sometimes a couple of thousand people. They just can't do it. They cannot look after everybody in that same kind of way. So I think sometimes this is a problem between actors and agents, is that that's never really communicated at the beginning. No matter which agency it is, they kind of forget to tell you, oh, by the way, this is not what we're doing for you. Well, it sounds awful, but it's like, this is what you're expected to do and this is what I'm expected to do. And people often forget to explain that to an actor when they join an agency.